Welcome to Tusks and Tales, where real hog dogs, real dog men and women, and real stories come together. This podcast is built around hard hunting dogs, family values, and the community that lives this lifestyle every single day. Tusks and Tales is proudly supported by brands and people who don't just sell products, they live this life. Let's start out with Value Pack Performance Dog Feed. It keeps our kennel fueled and ready. Consistent nutrition that helps dogs recover fast, hunt longer, and stay healthy doing what they love. If you're looking to switch feeds up or step your dogs up, reach out to me and let's get you the performance feeds you need at a price you can afford. Next up, we got Southern Bayou Farm Feed and Supply. It is owned by Mr. Ritchie. It is your go-to feed store in Southeast Texas, specifically Vidor, Texas. They carry dog care products along with plenty of feed options for working dogs and livestock. Good people and a business worth supporting. J Bark Dog Supply, owned by Mr. Brandon Jackson, provides purpose-built gear for hard-running dogs from collars to everyday essentials. This is equipment made by someone who understands what dogs go through in the woods. 2B Hog Dogs, one of my best, run by brothers, Mr. Kenneth Smith and Tequil Smith. They're built on their passion, their grit, and their heart. They truly love the hunt, and they also own some jam-up dogs. The next up we got an important one, y'all. TheBestDogProducts.com. It is owned by Dave Critchlow. Focuses on what matters most, keeping dogs healthy from wormers to full-spectrum parasite control. They help make sure dogs are ready when it's time to cut loose. You can use our discount code TNT. Next up, we got Dirty South Calls. That is owned by Mr. Hunter Ledger, one of the beginning supporters, and we can't thank him enough. He delivers proven calls made for hunters who want results, not gimmicks. When sound matters, these calls flat out work. One of our biggest supporters from day one. Y'all give it up for old Boars and Broads, owned by Mr. Ryan Rankin and Mr. Carter Schultz. It is the biggest merchandise dealer in the hog hunting industry, bringing quality gear and apparel to people who live this lifestyle. Save money with our discount code TNT. Next up, we got Hog Turtle Headlamps, designed by hunters for hunters. Keep you and your dog visible and safe when the sun goes down and the real work begins. This is Tusks and Tales. Stories from the woods, respect for the dogs, and a lifestyle we're proud to live.
Their health is questionable at best. There is no hip dysplasia, no elbow dysplasia, no OCDs, nothing is being check tested or excluded for. Meaning if anybody wants to know the difference, one is a quality controlled product and the other one's not. But yes, back to the questions. Who was Fritz? Who was Falco? Who were these dogs? In hair type and coat, they were different versions of that same versatile German hunting dog. Fairly high-shouldered or tall dogs. They can run fast-paced. They can run fairly endurant. They got a strong nose. They're sharp enough. They're per se not a solo catch dog, but two of them will make up for one bulldog type dog. And certainly in conjunction with, a strong catch dog, they're good buy dogs in terms of they can help pin down a bigger or more fighting, 200-pounder plus. Whilst they're maybe not the one that holds the grip like a pit bull terrier, they still bring that desire and they can also take a hit and still keep on going. They're pretty hardy. The other dog that Christian brought is what's called a Haida Terrier, which is technically a bit of a hybrid and by some standards is not really accepted as one of the original German hunting dog breeds, but it's ultimately a bit of a cross between, imagine you cross, for simplicity reasons, a bull terrier or a pit bull terrier with an Airedale terrier, right? So you get yourself about a 40-pounder. Some are a little bit heavier, some are a little bit lighter, some are a little bit taller, some are a little bit shorter and stockier. They're hard-coated dogs. They bring that terrier mindset with a little bit more run and a little bit more endurance. And they can look literally as if you imagine that cross. I mean, they're like a mid-sized toilet brush that has the mindset of a pit bull, you know. So that's the Haida Terrier. And then what else did we have? Well, I brought a Persa Canario, which is a fairly big dog.
A massive dog, y'all. I'm telling y'all, it is huge.
No, it's about the size of a little pit bull terrier.
Yeah.
No, I mean, she's just my all-around dog and meets more criteria than being just a catch dog, but she's an everyday companion and everyday homestead guardian, and you know, she's the all-around version of a dog that size should be for my standards, but she does a pretty good job at catching hogs too. And then we had some lighter versions of that. Back home, they're known as the Alano, which, for those that don't know what that is, basically it's like a 65% of a cane corso, so to speak, with tails and ears undocked. So we had a wide range of four-legged creatures with us in the woods, but I think they all played nice. They all worked together well. We didn't have any dog on dog or dog on people, you know, accidents or behavioral problems. I mean, everybody knew what we were there for, and these dogs had never met, nor had they met Alan's crew, and I think that always is a big part for me. I'm fairly certain for you too, Alan. I mean, going out in the woods is, you know, call it dangerous if you wish, but it's demanding for sure, and these dogs don't need to be, you know, put at risk by another dog that maybe doesn't quite have its social bearings. And we had females in heat, and you know, despite all that, I mean, the boys were focused on what mattered, and I think it takes some professional dogs' mindsets to make that happen. Otherwise, you can be separating dogfights in the woods, and I know of enough situations where that happens too.
Yeah, and we didn't have that. That blew my mind because we didn't. Even with the females in heat, I was surprised. We didn't run into any issues. I mean, to be honest, we did have a couple, like, you know, hey, boat up, checking each other out, but we didn't have no throwdown fights, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but that's, like I said, I like to sometimes make that NFL comparison. I mean, you put a couple testosterone guys into a locker room. I mean, somebody's going to throw a towel. I mean, but as long as nobody's throwing fists, I mean, that's what matters. And everybody still goes out there for the second half of the game and plays ball and is a team, you know, and that's what matters.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, with that, Mr. 10, you know, we covered a little bit of that. Let's, if you don't mind, I don't know if your wife's available yet to introduce herself.
Yes. She's.
Do you want to introduce her to everybody first? I want to be professional about it.
Yes, my wife's here too. Her name's Dr. Jessica Leto, and we met, like I said before, we met in 2008 at LSU in Baton Rouge. She's a native of Louisiana, New Orleans, and well, she's kind of tingled the world with me since. She may regret that, but I'm joking. She's right here. Put the frying pan down. It was a joke. No, all good. And yeah, Jessie is she's working small animal. She's on the more medicine side of things, where I'm more on the cutting side of things. But she's a hospitalist at one of the big specialty hospitals here in Indianapolis, and takes care of intensive care patients. Not around the clock anymore, but near around the clock. So, yeah, so that's her background and her experience now, almost 20 years. And like I said, we talked a little bit about the lead up to today, and obviously by now everybody knows this is not scripted, even though we did talk a little bit about what topics we wanted to cover on the medical side. But I think it matters a little bit what I've learned over the years, that different parts of the world, you encounter different conditions and different diseases. that goes also especially true when you talk about infectious diseases. So I think her being from Louisiana, that's not all too far from home for you, or vice versa. So I think with that comes, crossover experience, same conditions and diseases that you see are pretty much everyday bread and butter, down there. So I think that matters somewhat. Babe, you want to say hello?
Sorry. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Thanks for inviting me on this podcast.
Yes, ma'am. There is a lot of people looking forward to this, by the way. We're trying to get everybody pointed in the right direction. I don't know of another hound hunting podcast that has had veterinarians on it. So with that being said, let's get started first, kind of like we did with Mr. Tim.
Sure.
Can you go into detail about who you are, the accomplishments you've made, your degrees, everything, so everybody is very aware of exactly what you hold and where you come from?
Sure. Okay. So I graduated from Louisiana State University in 2008. Went into general practice there and practiced for about 5.5 years. Moved to Germany with Tim. Lived there for 4 years. When I was in Germany, I had to learn the language there in order to get my veterinary license. So did a couple of unorthodox things to practice. So I did a year internship rotating through like a specialty hospital. So I worked there. Then I worked at a veterinary diagnostic laboratory and was basically like a general manager of some parts of Germany. It was different.
Main matter is IDECVS Laboratories, which is also the biggest diagnostic lab here in the U.S. So it's a U.S.-based company.
Wow. That is impressive.
So I did that when I was there. Then when we moved back here, went back into general practice. And then that was, I don't even know, 2022 maybe? I'm not even sure. It doesn't matter. For the last 5 years, thank God, you don't even know anymore. The last 5 years, I've been the hospitalist at VC Advanced Care up in Fishers, Indiana. I basically take care of all the intensive patients in the ICU. But I also see outpatient when they need me to. So I'm doing a little bit of both. So, again, I've been GP for most of my career. And being in the ER is certainly something new, but I enjoy both. So it's been cool to see a different sector of veterinary medicine. I feel like I've dabbled in, pharmaceutical, and it's been interesting. And I feel like I've learned a lot, honestly, in these last few years.
That is an amazing intro. I mean, both of y'all's intros are and everybody's going to agree with me, even the people that have been on here, but that is some very impressive stuff. I don't even like talking because I don't sound like I'm professional enough to talk to y'all, but I love it. I enjoy it. And I want to, like I was telling Mr. Tim earlier, we want to kind of get people pointed in the right direction. So while we talk about this, please keep into consideration that, some people have 30, 40 dogs on their yard. They can't afford just going to a vet. I don't want to, I'm trying to point people in the right direction, to keep dogs healthier longer. But with that being said, what is your exact title? Can you say that?
So I'm not a specialist like Tim. I don't have all kinds of, titles after my name. I'm just a doctor of veterinary medicine. Okay. Real simple.
Okay. No. That's fine. I was just curious. Well, with that being said, can we go ahead and jump into it? And, I'm telling y'all, this is the first one where it's going to be kind of scripted. I wanted them to be aware of what we were going to talk about a little bit. So with that being said, I mean, we have a little bit of a list. that we want to go through. So this will be kind of scripted. I just wanted them to I got to give credit where credit is due, y'all. Just give me 1 minute here before we keep rolling. I want to give a quick shout out to the people who help keep Tusks and Tails going. First off, y'all know Value Pack Performance Dog Feed. It keeps our dogs fueled to hunt hard and recover right. If you're needing to switch feeds or want better performance without breaking the bank, reach out to me and I'll help get you set up with the feeds your dogs need. If you reach out to me, I can even get you it for a price that you can definitely afford. Next up, man, we got J. Bark Dog Supply, Mr. Brandon Jackson. Y'all cannot beat his prices, I promise. Solid gear for real working dogs. If your dogs are in the woods, this is equipment built right to handle it. Man, one of my favorite day ones, Mr. Kenneth and Tequil Smith with 2B Hog Dogs. 2 brothers, 1 passion, and some jam-up dogs. Real deal people doing it right, and that's for damn sure. Them are some good people, y'all. Let them know you heard them. Next up is an important one, a very important one, y'all. You want to keep your dogs healthy, we got the bestdogproducts.com for wormers and parasite control, because a healthy dog is a hunting dog. Next up, we got a good buddy of mine, old Mr. Hunter Ledger. He works a little bit of both sides, the duck side and the hog side, but he runs Dirty South calls. There's no gimmicks, just calls that work when it matters. Man, another big supporter of mine that I can't thank them enough is Mr. Ryan Rankin and Carter Schultz with Boars and Broads. They're the biggest hog hunt merchandise dealer, bringing quality gear and apparel to the people who live this lifestyle. Y'all gotta go reach out to them. Don't forget to use that TNT discount. Last but not least, Hog Turtle headlamps built by hunters for hunters, keeping you and your dogs visible when the sun goes down. Thanks for taking this minute with me, y'all. Let's get back to it, but please do not forget to reach out to one of them and let you know you heard from us. That we want to go through. So this will be kind of scripted. I just wanted them to have a heads up so we can get the best information possible. Do you mind starting out with internal parasites and deworming? You know, and we'll get into detail about it a little bit more, but first, mainly, you know, can you talk about the internal parasites and deworming methods, including growing like a, gosh dang it, what's it called? When you get used to taking something for so long, it won't be effective anymore.
Resistance.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Can you cover that a little bit, please?
Yeah. So do a lot of people also have large animal, or we're just mainly talking about small animals?
Yes, ma'am. This is pretty much all going to be related on this podcast. It's going to be related mainly to dogs, hounds, and just mainly dogs.
Okay. So, I think, you know, you brought up, one of the questions was, are we under or over deworming? From my perspective, and obviously it's a very small perspective, but I feel like people are definitely under deworming. We should be deworming on a monthly basis. I realize that that's probably not possible for a lot of people. If you're doing a heartworm prevention, which in the South, obviously it's best if you are with the mosquitoes to prevent heartworms, you're going to be given that every 30 days. And in the heartworm preventions, you have a monthly dewormer. And that monthly dewormer, like you had said, let's not mention a brand name, but it's going to be Pyrantel, which Pyrantel is going to get your roundworms, your hookworms. It's not going to get your tapes. It's not going to get your whips, but it's going to get your rounds and your hooks. If you, oh yeah, it's fine. You're not going to have, if you have a heartworm prevention that has something like praziquantel in it, then you're going to have prevention against tapeworms. So it just depends on what dewormer or what prevention that you use. For example, we use Interceptor Plus
Okay.
And it's a pretty broad spectrum prevention and dewormer. So it's got milbomycin in it, which covers our heartworm prevention. It covers roundworms, hookworms, and whipworms, and it's got praziquantel in it, which gets tapeworms. So we've basically got all of our bases covered for internal parasites. Now, obviously, it doesn't get coccidia, it doesn't get giardia, but there isn't anything that's going to get everything. There is not a monthly preventative that's going to have fenbendazole in it, and fenbendazole is going to get everything, minus tapeworms. I guess I shouldn't say everything. So, again, I know cost is going to be a holdup for most people, and it's going to be really difficult for you to say, okay, I'm going to give a monthly preventative to everybody. But if you were able to deworm everybody on a monthly basis, then I probably would say deworm with fenbendazole would probably be the best thing to do if we had to choose on cost. So fenbendazole is going to get everything minus your tapeworms. If you could do some sort of flea prevention, because if you do flea prevention, then that's going to prevent your tapeworms. So if you could do some sort of topical flea prevention, which topical is going to be your most cost-effective prevention. Frontline has really fallen out of favor due to resistance. It only lasts about 2 weeks now. But if you do something like Advantage, Advantage lasts about 2 weeks as well, but you can reapply it every 2 weeks. It's not waterproof, so obviously these dogs are swimming.
Yes, ma'am.
But something that you could do, and I really like it, but it's about $60 or $70 per collar. The Seresto collar by Bayer is very good, and it's over the counter, but it lasts 9 months. And that's against all ticks and fleas. So you cover your fleas, and in theory, if you don't have fleas, you're not going to get tapeworms. So you could do the Seresto collar, do fenbendazole as your dewormer, which is going to get all of your parasites. And if you want, you could also add ivermectin on top as your heartworm prevention. Because ivermectin, which I know is a big topic as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Off-label, technically ivermectin is only off-label for intestinal parasites for dogs. So there really isn't dosing available for intestinal parasites. So it's technically not recommended. It's possible that even though you're deworming them with ivermectin, they still could have intestinal parasites. And that's where resistance comes into hand, is that we're not appropriately dosing. And it just means that, these are drugs that haven't been tested and that we don't have known dosing. So we don't have the pharmacokinetics. We don't know, okay, this works. This is the therapeutic level in the bloodstream that we need to kill this roundworm. We know that for the heartworm and ivermectin, but we don't know that for the roundworm and the dog at this dose.
Yes, ma'am.
So I think
real quick before you're doing awesome. Sorry, I just don't want to get everybody confused right now.
Oh yeah.
Quick, I'm gonna say it very professionally. We're gonna try to dumb it down a little bit. Now with
sure.
Sorry, I just want to be very clear. So fenbendazole, right? So I like how you said it. We're not gonna say a specific one. I'm gonna be honest with you. Majority of, not saying me and others, but use horse and cattle dewormers. It's a lot cheaper to get it in bulk, goat, whatever the case may be. I don't know if you can say this, with being a doctor and whatnot, but if you can, let me know. If not, it's not a big deal. But if someone were to purchase a goat fenbendazole, is that going to be the same exact quality as buying it for a dog?
It's going to be the same. So if you go to Tractor Supply and you buy the bottle, like the bottle of Panicure, the liquid bottle of Panicure.
Yes, ma'am. I know
it has like a cow on it. It's got a horse on it. I think maybe a sheep. I don't know. But anyway, it's white and it's blue, white and blue.
Yeah.
If you buy that bottle, I have that very same bottle in my house.
Okay.
And we use it on the dogs.
Okay.
Because that is the only Panicure available. There isn't a special dog bottle.
Okay.
That is the Panicure that's available. That is the fenbendazole that is FDA approved for all of the animals.
Okay, now while we're there, let's get into this a little bit more. So
yeah,
we might have to make this into 2 or 3 parts because I'm telling you, I'm going to have a lot of this is going to save a lot of dogs already with what we've just talked about. So with that being said, if somebody uses a paste, because there's either like Bimectin, there's Bimectin and all them other ones. Is there a proper way to be able to measure that out to make sure they're getting the proper dose? Okay.
No. The liquid is the better way to go.
Okay. So there's a goat one out there, fenbendazole goat wormer. You can buy it in bulk, but you're saying that's not going to be as effective as the Panicure one you were talking about originally, correct?
You can't with the paste. If it's a liquid, it depends. If the goat one, and I don't know, I'd have to look it up, but
I can send it to you after this, by the way.
You can send it to me. As long as it's a liquid or granules, you have to be able to appropriately calculate it out to the dose for that animal. You can't do that with the paste.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, that's what I wanted to clarify.
You can do that with the liquid or the granules.
Okay. Now while we're on that, so we covered, y'all, pretty much, we're talking to vets here, y'all. I know, as well, still consult with your veterinarian if you don't believe them. But these are veterinarians we're talking to right now. So with that being said, quit using the paste. If y'all want to still continue, go ahead. But another one I know everybody wants to know is, so we covered those a little bit. We're kind of backtracking here just to make sure we stay on I want to make sure everybody's very clear with the answers. Can you please cover each parasite real quick and what ingredient will get rid of them, or which ones, and how do you, because I know there's ones that'll actually kill them out and then ones that will be a preventative. I've shared my experience with veterinarians with Mr. Tim, and he knows about it, but this is why I'm so thankful y'all are taking your time. So if we can go from like a hookworm, tapeworm, pinworm, roundworm, whipworm, and you can tell, like, okay, fenbendazole is going to kill this one, pyrantel promote pyrantel promote on this one. Is it, I keep saying it's Presquantel. How do you pronounce that?
Yeah, Presquantel. You're saying it right.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So if you could go through each worm, if you don't mind, and maybe, I don't know if you can necessarily give a dosing, but I'm trying to talk realistically here for everybody, but
yeah,
per 10 pounds of body weight or anything. I don't know if you have that on the top of your head or not, because I didn't.
Let me calculate. I do everything in kigs.
Oh,
okay. Hold on.
So, yeah, I mean, down here, it's going to be for example, ivermectin, a cc for every 10, a tenth of a cc for every 10 pounds of body weight.
I'm gonna give you a dose. Hang on.
Okay. Y'all, the information y'all are getting here, man, y'all should be very thankful. I want y'all to reach out to Mr. Tim and his wife and tell them thank you. Like, this is going to help so many dogs in the hound community. It is, I'm just so excited to get this information out there.
Yeah, I would say roughly about a cc per 10 pounds would translate.
1 cc or a tenth of a cc?
1 cc.
Okay.
Okay.
Of ivermectin?
No.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh my goodness.
Oh, no. Of pyrantel.
Okay. And what is that?
God, no, with ivermectin, you have to be very careful.
Yes, ma'am.
Because that is highly toxic.
Yes. So, can you be clear about that and retell them?
Yes. Well, we'll go through. So we'll go through all of the worms, and okay, let's go through our list here. So basically the same drugs are going to treat and prevent.
Okay.
I know that sounds kind of contradictory, but we can prevent them. We can prevent them and treat them at the same time. So that's why these monthly heartworm preventatives have the dewormer in them.
Okay.
So they're going to have, let's say, HeartGuard Plus. I'm just giving an example before we get into this. HeartGuard Plus is going to have pyrantel in it, and it's going to prevent hookworms, roundworms, okay? But it's not going to treat them if they get a new infection. It's going to prevent.
Okay.
I know that is confusing. So if you are diligent about giving the prevention every 30 days, your dog is not going to get those intestinal parasites. Your dog is at risk for whipworms and, let's say, tapeworms. And you would have to deworm them for those parasites. And that's where it becomes really tricky, honestly, with prevention and deworming. I think the best thing to do, honestly, in my opinion, is just be preventative. Be preventative, because this is a very gray area. Prevention, and then treating. You're only going to treat when you know you have the parasites. And the parasites cause so many problems. They can. People think that intestinal parasites are benign, but you can have migration into the central nervous system, into the brain, into the eyes, into the heart, into the lungs. Anything. Roundworms can do this. So they can really cause serious problems. So it's best for us to be preventative about these parasites than wait until there's a problem.
Yes, ma'am.
And you can do that simply with that bottle of large animal Panicure and just do that monthly. So
okay.
We'll go through each one. So
yes,
hookworms can be prevented and treated by pyrantel and pyrantel and by fenbendazole.
Okay.
Roundworms, same thing, treated by and prevented by pyrantel and fenbendazole. Tapeworms, treated and prevented by praziquantel. Whipworms, treated and prevented by fenbendazole. Pinworms, same thing, fenbendazole. And then your heartworms are going to be treated and prevented by ivermectin, milbomycin.
Okay.
And moxidectin.
Okay. Now,
I know you talked about prevention versus treatment.
Yes.
Did you want to talk about treatment of heartworms?
Yeah, I do, but can we back up and maybe
Because that's a long topic.
I know. Maybe we can do that on another one.
Yeah.
I know people are going to want to hear it, so now we're going to have to do that one later. But can we back up a little bit on that one and touch base on the doses?
Yes.
Okay.
So back to the doses of everything.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you're going to give let's go to Pyrantel. Pyrantel is going to be, gonna have to recalculate this for you guys because I'm doing everything in kilograms.
Yes, ma'am. Everybody's gonna be so confused.
So, because y'all don't use kigs, so it's 50 milligrams per kilogram in 50 megs per kig.
That's going to wrap it up for this episode of Tusks and Tails. We really appreciate every single one of y'all that tunes in, supports the show, and supports the people and dogs that make this lifestyle. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you like it, share it, and leave a review. I know that gets boring, y'all. To hear that from every single podcast, I don't care. Reach out, say, Alan, your dogs suck. Leave a comment like that. Follow us on every single social media platform. Talk crap to me. I don't care, y'all. But I want some feedback. Let me know what I'm doing wrong so I can make it better for all of y'all. But until next time, hunt hard, take care of your dogs, and never forget about what it is really about. This is Tusks and Tails. We'll see y'all in the woods. Love every one of y'all.